Right, hello and welcome to a bit of a different style of video because today I am going to be discussing about Five Nights at Freddy's and explaining one of the theories which I think I've come across while reading some of the Five Nights at Freddy's books and while reading this book as well. So let's get right into it, shall we? So it's by no surprise at the moment that Five Nights at Freddy's is definitely evolving. I mean, it's gone from this really simple basic game into a giant book series with AR, VR and DR games. It's everywhere. And while I was reading this book here called The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek, it made me actually think about something odd which has happened in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. Take these books here. Now these books are the Five Nights at Freddy's books for Fazbear, Frights, pretty much 3 small horror stories summarised in a book, and each one kind of tells the story of someone who's gotten their way into this Five Nights at Freddy's universe, and most of the time they meet their demise there. Now in these books we find out that most of the time the main protagonists are kind of drawn to the Five Nights at Freddy's restaurants. For example, we have this one kid here, and he decides it'd be a good idea to explore an abandoned Five Nights at Freddy's restaurant for God knows any reason. Literally, there is no reason why he should be doing this, but for some reason he's just drawn to doing that. And I was reading this book here, and I made a connection, okay? Now, this is not a Five Nights at Freddy's book, alright? So I guess I should point that out. But it's very similar in the sense of Five Nights at Freddy's. So I guess I'll give a spoiler summary for the book and explain how it ties into FNAF. So in this book here, you have 2 best friends. And one of their friends gets taken to this crazy school because they accidentally tripped up an old man. Now this old man is the person who runs the school, and the school is very sketchy, very creepy. There's been hundreds of kids that have died in this school, and the parents seem to just willingly let their kids go off to this school. They don't care that loads of people have died. They're not even concerned about their own kid dying. And what happens is the person sent to the school ends up going missing, and it's apparently because of a fire. Obviously it's not. There was no smoke, there was no nothing. She clearly must have been murdered. But by who? Well, the old man who got tripped up, it turns out that he's actually kind of a leader of a cult, and this cult is designed to sacrifice children into this pool. And for every sacrifice, this old man gets closer and closer to meeting his dead daughter once again. Does that sound a little bit familiar to any of you guys? William Afton killing kids just to try and bring back his daughter? But this is where the big jumping point occurred, okay? A massive jumping point. Because later in the book, we find out that the water for this town is contaminated. All of the dead children's, I guess, like souls, they enter the water, and this water leads off into the lake, into the rivers, and people drink this water. So this water, which is full of spirits and all kinds of weird things, the water actually influences the parents and the older people of this town into doing weird things. For example, allowing their kids to go to this crazy school despite the fact that there's been countless dead kids there. It's kind of like in the Fazbear Fright books where all of these kids seem drawn to these restaurants. So could it be that the souls of the dead children are influencing these kids into going into the restaurant and discovering things? Well, here's something else I found. In Five Nights at Freddy's AR, there is a mini game called Remnant Collection. Pretty much you hold your phone around and there'll be Remnant which appears. Pretty much Remnant is like soul energy, souls pretty much, and you collect it using your light. So that kind of shows that souls in this Five Nights at Freddy's universe. They're just everywhere. Why would that be? Well, is it possible that the souls are influencing people into going into these restaurants, discovering things such as this weird animatronic dog or a serial killer? Is it possible that the souls are doing all the work? Well, that's my theory, everyone. I know that it might not be the best solid theory, but I thought it was an interesting conclusion which kind of links into this book. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this theory could be plausible? Do you think it's not accurate? Let me know. This is definitely a interesting theory, and it definitely does tick off a lot of the things about the books. I hope all of you guys are staying happy, healthy and safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for our next day video. Goodbye!